Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel guys. In this live section we'll talk about a lot of things. So guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video. It don't happen, no. So guys, you know that police arrested Kanu's brother and Aloy Ejimakor, the legal counsel of Nnamdi Kanu. Guys, there's this report that Aloy Ejimakor collapsed in Kuje Prison. Guys, can you imagine a man of 70 years old was tear gassed during the protest? He was even running himself, and then they said he collapsed after he was denied bail. He collapsed in the prison. Now, Maxwell, a lawyer too, has said what happened. He explained how Barrister Aloy Ejimakor collapsed and other things. Guys, take a look at this video. In this video, you're going to also see a barrister that talked about Mazen Kanu, talked about his defense and a lot of things. Guys, take a look at this video and I'll be right back shortly. Take a look, guys.
My people, it's just an update. I came out from DSSS where I went to see Nnamdi Kanu, and I received series of messages that Aloy Ejimakor collapsed at Kuje Correctional Center where he was remanded. So I rushed to the Kuje Correctional Center and I demanded to see him. So the officer in charge directed that the officer should accompany me to the clinic where he was admitted. So I met him and we discussed, and I asked him, so he told me how everything happened. So, such a man of over 70 years, you tear gassed him, you treated him like a criminal, you subject him to such ill treatment. So, you don't expect his body chemistry to be the same. So, and it's very unfortunate because this is what we call executive recklessness that leads to this. And they use judiciary to perfect the illegality. Because had it been that the magistrate, having known that this is an act of intimidation, this is an act of lawlessness, you shouldn't have even, you should just release such a man on self-recognition. On self-recognition. We have seen where people committed very big crime in this country. They release them on self-recognition. Not talk about a very senior lawyer, a man of over 70 years. It's rather unfortunate. So he met up with the bail condition given to him by the court and the other protesters. So, and they perfected it. So it's for the judge to sign for order for release. That was around 11 yesterday, Friday, 24th. Waited for the judge from 11 in the morning till around 6 p.m. when we left from the court. The judge was nowhere to be found. People were, the registrar, everybody were waiting for him. So I don't know what they want to achieve. It's unfortunate. So I saw him there, just like I said. I saw Omoyele Sowore, I saw Prince Kanu, I saw Barrister Nnamdi and some other protesters. So I believe. So by Monday, my people, it's just an update. I came out from DSSS where I went to see Nnamdi Kanu, and I received series of messages that Aloy Ejimakor collapsed at Kuje Correctional Center where he was remanded. So I rushed to the Kuje Correctional Center and I demanded to see him. So the officer in charge directed that the officer should accompany me to the clinic where he was admitted. So I met him and we discussed, and I asked him, so he told me how everything happened. So, such a man of over 70 years, you tear gassed him, you treated him like a criminal. You subject him to such ill treatment. So you don't expect his body chemistry to be the same. So and it's very unfortunate because this is what we call executive recklessness that leads to this, and they use judiciary to perfect the illegality. Because had it been that the magistrate, having known that this is an act of intimidation, this is an act of lawlessness, you shouldn't have even you should just release such a man on self-recognition. On self-recognition, we have seen where people committed very big crime in this country. They release them on self-recognition. Not talk about a very senior lawyer, a man of over 70 years. It's rather unfortunate. So he met up with the bail condition given to him by the court and the other protesters. So they perfected it. So it's for the judge to sign for order for release. That was around 11 yesterday, Friday, 24th. Waited for the judge from 11 in the morning till around 6 p.m. when we left from the court. The judge was nowhere to be found. People were, the registrar, everybody were waiting for him. So I don't know what they want to achieve. It's unfortunate. So I saw him there, just like I said. I saw Omoyele Sowore, I saw Prince Kanu, I saw Barrister Kingdom Okere, and some other protesters. So I believe. So by Monday, they will be out. Thank you. That is the update.
So, guys, you heard what Maxwell Okpara said. He said he heard that Barrister Aloy Ejimakor collapsed, so you quickly rushed to Kuje Prison, and then he saw Maxwell Okpara. He saw Barrister Aloy, saw Sowore, saw other people that was detained there. So, guys, you heard what he said. He said that imagine Aloy Ejimakor actually met all his bail conditions, and then they were waiting for the judge to sign after meeting the bail condition. How many hours, guys, he didn't sign? But he actually assured, Maxwell Okpara assured that Aloy Ejimakor will be out tomorrow, which is Monday. So, guys, we can see what is going on. Imagine a man. What is this man's crime? Has he killed anybody? Has he spied anybody? Has he, what is his crime? Just because he came out to agitate. That was why they, arrested him. And even after meeting bail condition, guys, they still kept in the judge is delaying and everything. Guys, I want you guys to take a look at this video, where this barrister, because this thing is getting too much in this country. This Kanu's protest has led to another thing, is becoming another thing. Just because of people came out to protest, a lot of things has happened, guys. A lot of things has happened. In this live section, we'll talk about the fact that there are so many witnesses in Kanu's list, like his defense team. They mentioned so many Southeast governors, even the ones that has in the past even accused IPOB of a lot of violence, guys. And people are asking, how will these people defend Kanu well? Guys, you're going to know everything that has to do with that in this live section. So, guys, take a look at this video where this man explained a lot of things, guys. Take a look briefly and I'll be back.
Saturday, 25th day of October 2025. I just came out from DSSS now with some of my colleagues. Here we need to see Nnamdi Kanu. So, and as you can see, we are no longer representing him in this ongoing trial, but some other matters that for him, and which we handle both in Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, and in some other courts. So those ones we are handling for him. So he told us this afternoon that when after the the city on Friday. He was brought back to DSSS. So on reaching there, one DSSS officer attacked him. One DSSS officer attacked him. That's what he told us. So, and we said, okay, since it's like this, there's every need for him to draw attention to that incident to the court on Monday, when the matter will come up for a hearing. So you should let the court know, because we have consistently applied that he should be remanded at a Kuje Correctional Center, where he will have an adequate time and conducive environment to prepare his defense. Now that the court went to the DSSS and attacked him, and he has been mentally tortured, he was sad, and this is somebody who wants to go and enter trial, enter defense on Monday. So just to update you people, and we have also told him what to inform the court about it. So that is the update. Thank you and God bless you.
Barrister Wabuko, what's your reaction to kind of sacking his legal team led by Kanu Agabi and saying he's going to defend himself? How did you feel seeing him stand there in the dock and speak? How did you feel? Did you feel it was a passionate moment? Did you feel sorry for him? Did you feel that this man is like no other? How did you feel?
Well, I don't feel sorry for him. Nnamdi Kanu has always been bold. He's a man that cannot be intimidated. That's the fact. He's a man that has been offered presumably all kinds of gratifications to drop the bid, and he has refused to do that. So I don't think he's somebody to be pitied. I think he knows what he's doing, though I didn't actually expect him to sack his legal counsel at this point of the trial. I expected him to have, in fact, for me, I think he needs more counsel now than what he did. I'm not shocked. I know that he has the capability of defending himself, and he has the constitutional right of defending himself.
We have been asking why. Why? The previous analyst said that maybe he did that because of financial reasons. Maybe there's a financial undertone that some of these SANs charge a lot. But I don't think I agree. I think he's been engaging them for a long time. I mean, it's just like finally the tortoise is about to come out of the well and is suddenly crying. I'm just saying, it just seems like ill-timed if it's about financial decisions. I don't know. Why do you think he made that decision?
Well, nobody knows. But what I am aware, and I'm sure, is that his legal team is aware. I think he must have discussed with them and proffered his reasons to them. That's what I think. I don't think finance is a factor here. I don't think that the lawyers were overcharging him and then he had to lay them off. No, I am very sure that some of them are even doing it pro bono. I can vouch that some of the lawyers are doing it pro bono. A lot of people believe in his cause. A lot of people believe that he has a right to his freedom and liberty. So I don't think it's about money. I think he has his personal reasons, which he has not told anybody besides his legal team. I think they discussed and agreed. Whatever he will do today or subsequent days, I think he's in concert with his legal team. I think that they are still working from the background. You may not see them in Kobe then. I think they're still working with him.
Nnamdi Kanu would justifiably feel that he has been oppressed by the system. He has been held in custody, going through so much. You know what it means to be in a room and someone says you can't get out? All you can do is discuss with the wall. You are there losing your mind, and then you say you want to stand there in the dock and defend yourself. You are calling on Wike, calling on Malami and other high-profile individuals. You want to question them. You want them to serve as witnesses, and you are doing it in such an emotional, passionate moment. How do you feel Kanu would handle this case since he's opted to defend himself?
Well, we're not going to see anything different for what he has done before. He's going to come out there, roar like a lion, and then ventilate his views about the charges against him. I believe that one of the reasons why he dropped his legal team was that for him, he may not actually have ample time with his team. You know, I don't think they gave the lawyers enough access to him, so he will be
he complained about that.
Yeah, so if you are not giving him access to his lawyers, then more or less like the lawyers may not actually do much for him if he doesn't have unfettered access to legal representation, because some of them will go and DSS will not allow them to access him. Sometimes if he wants to be interviewed by his lawyers, there will be cameras everywhere. So how would they prepare him for the case? So I think he believes that if you can't allow me to access my lawyers, then I wouldn't need them. So let the bullets come, I will take them by myself. I think that might be the reason why he's doing what he's doing.
How strategic is this new norm, for him, by the way? How strategic is it? And the merits of self-representation in a high-profile criminal case such as his?
Like I said earlier on, if he's not allowed unfettered access to his lawyers, it's as good as the lawyers who doesn't need to be in court. So it will still be people who are representing him. They are not allowed to prep him for the case. So it's as good as they are not needed in the court. So strategically, well, I think he will do his best. I think he's well knowledgeable. I think he has a lot of facts and knowledge.
He knows the law.
See, this time around, it's not about the law, it's about the facts of the case. Because the charge against him, there's a legal aspect to it, and there's also a factual aspect to it.
That's right.
The fact is that he did commit acts of terror. That's the fact. Now, if you establish that he committed acts of terror, then the law will now be applied to him. So from that doc, he's not going to give you legal postulations or legal views. He will give you evidence about the facts. So where lawyers are needed is to guide him so that he doesn't, skid off. But where it has to do with the facts, what is there to do during this examination in chief is to reel out what actually happened. There is a charge against him that he committed acts of terror. So what he will do is that he will tell his own story about what he did and what he did not do. So for him, he feels that he doesn't actually need a legal counsel this time around.
For him to dock these weaknesses like high-profile individuals in Nigeria, by the way, how do you think this is going to pan out? And as I stated, we've been asking that question: are they going to respond and come and defend themselves? But definitely, it was stated that yes, once you are being called upon, you have to come to the law court and defend yourself. So how do you see this panning out? Him naming these high-profile individuals as witnesses.
First, I think he named them to establish that he is not a terrorist, right? So these are people who are somewhat connected to his maybe illegal rendition, who are connected to several acts. People like Governor of Imo State that was reported to say that the acts of terror in the state were not perpetrated by IPOB. So I think he picked some people who he feels that they will actually make his case better. Now, as regards to whether they will come, there are witnesses that are competent and compellable. When you have to do witnesses, you look about competence and compellability. So issue of subpoena is an order of court to produce them. Now, whoever is subpoenaed to come and give evidence also has a right to file an application in court, telling the court that I don't have any connection to this case.
These people,
so
that he's called, they are not there to basically pour sand in his case. They are there to probably say some things that could make a better case for him. Do you see that happening? You talked about Hope Uzodinma now that has once dissociated the issues in the state from IPOB, right? Yes. So that's on one side. What about the FCT minister? Would he make Nnamdi Kanu's case better for him?
Actually, I don't think any of them will make his case better. But then in law, there's what we call a hostile witness. A hostile witness is when your witness turns against you. So if they come to court, they are now Nnamdi Kanu's witnesses. Now, if they give evidence contrary to evidence that will support Nnamdi Kanu's bid, what Nnamdi Kanu will do is to declare them hostile witnesses and put questions to them. He will not have the right of cross-examining his own witnesses. So what he's trying to do, he's trying to play a strategic, a master stroke by getting them to come to court. Definitely they will not give evidence in his favor. He will not declare them as hostile witnesses to be able to ask them some questions, which will make them to give some things that will electrocute him.
Barrister Waboko, I have to say this on live TV. You are too wise. You are just too wise. The way you unravel this case, the way you just, I mean, if everybody is turning the tables, then let's all turn the tables. Symbolic, what did it mean for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after so many years in custody, for Mazi Kanu to stand there in the dock on his own? If he wins or loses this case, what would it go down in history as? What would be the story of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in that moment, standing there, the Constitution in one hand, his case in the other, and all the other documents that he had, he recited, he challenged the court. What would that go down in history as?
Well, actually, I think that has shown somebody who is bold enough to stand for what he believes in, bold enough to stand against all odds. You know what it means that you are facing a terror charge and then you are not cowering in fear. Because actually what people expected him to do is to go for settlement. And he's saying, I'm not settling. He's simply saying, I didn't do this. I know a lot of people have approached him to try to settle out of court, to try to look at the option of settlement out of court, to try a sort of ADR. But he shows someone who is very resolute in what he wants. He's already making headlines. All of us are talking about him today because he's resolute in what he wants to achieve.
So what's the case? What are the key issues in Nnamdi Kanu's case? We're seeing him in court. We're talking about what the court is doing, what police is doing. Could you strategically tell us what the exact cases are before Nnamdi Kanu at this point? Since he's defending himself, we will say before Nnamdi Kanu. What are these terrorism charges in the first place?
Well, the charges are very clear. The Terrorism Act is very clear. Terrorism Prevention Act,
yes,
and Prohibition Act is there. So what he's trying to do is to establish two things. One, that he didn't commit any acts of terror, that he didn't incite people to violence, that he didn't encourage people to commit, that he himself didn't kill anybody or commit acts. Then, secondly, he will also try to establish that the court has no jurisdiction. That's why he's bringing some of those people in to talk about his illegal rendition, because he's bringing some of these people like Buratai to court to actually ask them questions as to how they brought him all the way from Kenya to Nigeria. So he's trying to establish two things. One, that he didn't commit acts of terror. Secondly, that the court has no jurisdiction to try him, since he's made applications which the court refused up to the Supreme Court that remitted the matter for a trial. He's not trying to get to be on record by the evidence of the state itself. That's what he's trying to do. Get people who were once governors, who were in the military, who were former governors, to come and give evidence for him as hostile witnesses as to how he was illegally renditioned to Nigeria. And if he achieves that, then there will be no basis for the trial in the first instance.
As you call out, some of the high-profile individuals are governors. There are 7 governors. Sanwo-Olu is there, and Hope Uzodinma. Now, some of these individuals who have immunity, are they going to respond and make themselves applicable in the law court to come and defend and be witness, as Nnamdi Kanu has named them as part of his witnesses? Are they going to, by the way, with them having that immunity backing them as governors?
Well, they have a duty to do if they don't want to come to court. If the court issues a subpoena for a witness to come, the witness has a right to file an application stating explicitly while he or she will not be in court to give evidence. So people who have the legal protection of immunity can bring an application to state that, hey, under the law, we are shielded. However, you know what the Constitution does by that provision is not to shield them from giving evidence, but to shield them from being prosecuted.
Oh, yeah.
So the Constitution does not shield them from giving evidence in any matter. What the Constitution shields them is from being sued to court. So if you are bringing them as a witness, there's no immunity from giving evidence, but there's an immunity from or against prosecution. So but they can still bring an application to court to stop them from coming to court on the basis of their position in government. They can do that. It's not left for the court to rule whether they can be compelled to give evidence or whether they should be let off the hook.
We saw him in the dock right there, bringing out certain things, and let's track back to when he invaded his house in Abia State, by the way, and that's when this whole thing started. Self-preservation is the number one rule to life, right? And he needed to self-preserve himself. So a jumping bail and whatnot is part of the reasons given, So now, stating these things, these facts, tying these things, and him, being arrested or kidnapped in Kenya, what are we actually reeling out and judging, since the place the law is meant to start is not fertile?
So you see, that's what we have been saying. We know that whatever happened in our father at that time, understand? For me, I will keep on saying Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail. He did not. They were about killing him. It's very clear. The military wanted to do what they call show of force, and they carried the show of force from Umuahia Township to his village, to his father's house. There were proof. They were shot into his house. So it was not a show of force. So for me, I think there was an attempt to, let me use their phrase, neutralize him. So it was an act of self-preservation. We keep on saying that he did not jump bail. They tried to neutralize him. That's what happened. And then he escaped for his life before he was illegally renditioned to Nigeria. It was not even an arrangement between Nigerian government and Kenyan government. It was a stealth action.
And they ruled against it, though, the Kenyan courts. Yeah.
Yes.
So now you move into this issue. It's high profile. And some people may be justifiably concerned that at this time, this is when he needs his counsel. You said something earlier that he may not have had unfettered access to his legal team, and he complained about that as well, meaning that they might not be able to have the amount of grip on the story or his story as he would like. So he's like, let me just do it myself. That's what we're speculating on right now.
Yes, just speculation.
Yeah, just what we're speculating on right now. So does that translate to him possibly not trusting his legal team to handle this case, judging by the lack of communication that they've had due to the officials around them?
No, it's not a matter of trust deficit. It's a matter of breach of the Constitution, because Section 36 is very clear that whoever is sued in an action as an accused person should be given ample time, opportunity, and legal representation.
So what does he think? What does he think the council lacks?
The council does not lack anything. The only thing that is the problem is that they were not allowing his lawyers to prepare him adequately for his case.
Then does that show a depth of information?
Yes. So I think it's a matter of breach of the Constitution, because how can they prepare him when they are preparing him under cameras? How can you prepare your clients?
So so based on the story,
you're not allowed access to your counsel.
We were trying to draw a timeline, because what journalists have not been able to unravel is why. So if we're to make a story out of this, Nnamdi Kanu has not had as much access to his legal counsel as he would like.
Yes.
Essentially, that means he's not been able to converse with them. And what are you conversing about? Information.
Yes.
So if he feels his legal counsel has enough information, then they can go ahead. You already ruled out financials. You ruled it out.
The lawyers will not have adequate information.
Exactly. So
one of the reasons why bail is granted is to allow an accused person to prepare his case. How can he prepare his case under CCTV cameras? What will his lawyer say?
So this is
whatever his lawyer will say will be used against the lawyers.
So we're using the elimination method. We've eliminated financials.
It cannot be financials.
Eliminated trust. It's not a trust deficit.
Yes.
But it's possible that it's an information deficit.
Definitely.
So he feels he has the most information about his case.
Definitely.
And as such can present and defend his case.
You see, there are things as a client you can only tell your lawyer, and no other ears will hear it. Because when you tell your lawyers things, you divulge some information that is not meant for the other ear. Your lawyer will now help you to prepare your case better. Imagine where the prosecution is also listening to your conversation. How will that case be conducted? The state is prosecuting. The state is monitoring the preparation of an accused person. So he doesn't have unfettered access to his lawyer. That's why one of the reasons for bail application is allowing the accused person to go home, sit down with his lawyers under confidentiality to prepare his case, so that he comes to court, the state does their case, the defense does the defense. But this time around, the state who is prosecuting is also part of the legal team, because they are listening to every conversation.
So let me jump in now.
Every question whatever Nnamdi Kanu will tell them, the state will already know. So what will he say again?
Let me throw in a spanner. You've established that, okay? Based on what happened with the NMA coming in and debunking the initial report that his own medical team gave, do you think that somewhere in Nnamdi Kanu's mind, he is feeling like he doesn't know who could be complicit? Do you think he's envisioning a case where it's impossible to trust anybody? Like any politician, politicians can hardly trust anybody, right? You don't know who wants what. Do you think that he's wondering if every other person has been influenced? Now we've already heard, Kanu Agabi is a strong lawyer, powerful and the rest. And we saw his team earlier appeal to the enemy not to be compromised. They said it because they envisioned the possibility. Now this is not to say they were, but his team initially envisioned the possibility and appealed to them not to be used as weapons or tools. Do you think that beyond the issue of information, death of information possibly, that he could also have been thinking of the issue of if anybody could be complicit, if anybody could be acting against him? Because sometimes the enemy lies within.
Well, question you have to ask is that when the enemy said that he was fit, did they produce any result? They ran a check on him, right? Did they produce any medical result that his liver is functioning, his kidney is functioning? Did we see that? They simply said, we think he's fit to stand trial, right? Now they can say, no problem, let me stand trial. Let's go ahead with the trial. So I think it's a matter of a lot of people will believe, general view will believe that NMA did it. You know, you are conducting a medical examination under the watchful eye.
NMA's position is justified. My question to you, Barrister Wabuko, is could that anti-incident have affected Nnamdi Kanu in a certain way that he's wondering if everybody else is compromised?
Definitely, he's seen himself as being alone. There's nobody on his side again. So he has decided to go all out to defend himself without anybody assisting him this time around. So I think that he doesn't actually believe that any other person can assist him now. If every other thing is working against him, the medical team, in fact, he was not even allowed. Imagine where he was not, his lawyers were not even allowed, his doctors were not even allowed to examine him. And the court had to order NMA. Why should the court order NMA? Doesn't he have his own medical practitioner? Must he be the enemy?
So what are we saying?
So if you are sick, the court will order an association to come and examine. What do you want the association to do when the government is involved?
What are we saying? What are we saying? We've talked about information.
Yes.
Now we're bringing in the issue of suspected anxiety over who can trust, who can I trust?
Yes.
Is that a valid point?
Very, very valid. Did you expect the enemy to do the opposite of what they did? Would you expect the enemy to say that he's not fit to stand trial?
We're talking about his counsel now. We're talking about his counsel.
I said earlier on that his lawyer cannot prepare him when the prosecution will also be part of his preparation, because whatever they are doing, they will do it in custody, in DSS custody, with CCTV cameras. What will he tell his lawyer? So you see, there are information that you will not divulge until you go to court.
So this is
this information will not be in the open even before the matter goes to court.
So this is not a case of him not probably trusting those around him. This is a case of him saying, it's better I keep what I know in my head.
Inside, and then say it open.
The table. Okay.
Yes, and say it open, so that every year we hear it. Because if he does that, the oath of confidentiality will be broken, because whatever he's telling his lawyers, DSS is aware of it, federal government is aware of it, Justice Omotoso is aware of it, even before the matter is given as an evidence.
So
and they wait for him. So he will be ambushed in court.
This time around, he has decided that since he can't discuss privately with his
keep it inside.
He wants to internalize and break the table in court.
Exactly, break all the table, all the legs of the table, so that everybody will hear it, including the media, including the press, including every other person in the court. They will hear it for the first time.
So are we eliminating the death of information and possible suspicions around complicity?
As regards to his legal counsel, issue of suspicion is not there, but issue of lack of access, unfettered access to his legal counsel, that is what has rightly played out.
Okay. Let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu's personality and the kind of person he is. He can be provocative sometimes and all that, his temperament and all. How can he manage in a law court that they need order in the court? You know, being the kind of person he is it going to be excuse of those attitudes while he stand, as a self-defendant?
I think the court will try to control whatever is happening. The court is the dominus litis of a case, so the court will try to slow him down. So he raises his voice, he starts screaming. The court will try to, and that's why maybe his lawyers because his lawyers will try to tell him to calm down. This time around, nobody will tell him to calm down aside the court. So I think that the court will actually try to slow him down, try to get him to calm down. Once I believe that Justice Omotoso will show a certain level of understanding, and then I think everything will play out very well.
Okay, looking at this case, right, from a permutation, how would this pan out after the 90 days?
If granted.
If granted, by the way, yeah.
Well, nobody can say. Nobody can know. Nobody can say what is going to happen, because I think that until he gives his evidence in court, there are some evidence he might give. The court might decide some of those information is not right for the public to hear. So, but then when he goes into the dock to give evidence, we're going to see what's going to happen. But for now, nobody is sure what will transpire in court. Nobody's very sure.
Are we about to experience a shockwave in Nigeria that same things that are going to be said in that law court is going to have a ripple effect?
That's exactly what Nnamdi Kanu is trying to do. He's trying to make sure that, because I know that there are certain things he may want to say, and his legal counsel will say, please don't go there. Don't cause chaos or crisis.
From the grapevine, right?
Yeah.
Said that certain reasons, part of the reasons why what is happening now is happening is because these individuals, these legal luminaries, always try to avert certain things to be said and put out there. So continue.
So you know when you are representing a client, there are certain information a client will give you. You try to rearrange it, or there are things you tell your client, please don't say this in court, okay? Let's rather go throughout this route. Now the lawyers, they know the decorum of the court, they know the demeanor of the court, they know the mindset of the courtroom and then the setting. So they will try to avoid some certain things. But this time around, I think Nnamdi Kanu doesn't want that. He wants to roar. He doesn't want to follow the normal courtroom decorum and etiquette. He just wants to speak his mind. So I think he's telling his lawyer, stay off. Let me see what is on my mind. But then I think that the court will want to try to, slow him down to get him to maintain a certain level of courtroom decorum and etiquette, because if that is not done, I don't think the matter will go on successfully.
Very fully what the kind of person Nnamdi Kanu is, right? And right about now is him trying to say the raw truth. Do you think this truth, that the truth is going to come out from this litigation that's going to happen, is going to somehow destabilize the state?
I don't know what he wants to say, but I suspect that whatever he wants to say will be earth-shaking. And then maybe in the course of the trial, the judge might want to make sure that nobody, of course, has access to the courtroom. The court may decide to congest the courtroom, so it will just between him.
Yeah. But we do see clips do leak. Clips do leak from the courtroom.
Okay, so now speaking of clips leaking, right? Now we're seeing a VDM who, of course, is a social media personality, also an activist, and he's been very vocal. And lots of Nigerians are happy that he has finally commented on the Nnamdi Kanu case. So he is saying that all of this is just for public sake. Okay, in line with what Oji said, he said Nnamdi Kanu will likely be released at his old age. That's the government's plan. All these court appearances are just for public sake. Many Southeast leaders are behind his arrest. That's what BDM is saying about it. How do you respond? Do you think that Nnamdi Kanu, would they want to keep him maybe for 20 more years, as BDM is saying, till he's old and too weak to agitate for Biafra?
VDM is a content creator. He's free to say anything he wants to say. I understand. But whatever he said is a very big falsehood. See, this Nnamdi Kanu's case is not a common case. Even the federal government is not finding it very, very easy. Understand? Because this is a matter that has gone viral. It's not the everyday criminal matters that comes to court that will just be expeditiously tried, right? So it's a very sensitive issue. It's an issue that has to do with beyond a region, beyond a sub-region. It's a matter that is sensitive to the hearts of Ndi, wherever they are, whether they are in the southeast or outside the southeast. So it's a matter that has to do with self-determination. So whenever you mention Biafra, a certain kind of emotion is evoked in the heart of the Igbo man and the Igbo woman. So the federal government is not actually trying to detain him. For now, if you ask me, my personal view, as at this stage, the federal government is actually in a dilemma.
So away from
do we convict him? Do we free him?
Yes.
The federal government is in a dilemma. Speaking
of this dilemma, Oji.
Yeah. Talking about convicting Nnamdi Kanu, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
How would you convict somebody that the processes of bringing him into the country and the self-preservation when they invaded his family house in Omaya? So where do you start from to put the traces?
That is really what I'm saying. That the federal government is facing a dilemma because Nnamdi Kanu has kept on happening. Two major planks. One, that he didn't jump bail because the reason he was denied bail the second time was that he allegedly jumped bail in the first time.
Yeah.
And he's saying,
my people, it's just an update. I came out from DSSS where I went to see Nnamdi Kanu, and I received series of messages that Aloy Ejimakor collapsed at a Kuje Correctional Center where he was remanded. So I rushed to the Kuje Correctional Center and I demanded to see him. So the officer in charge directed that the officer should accompany me to the clinic where he was admitted. So I met him and we discussed, and I asked him, so he told me how everything happened. So, such a man of over 70 years, you used to tear gas him, you treated him like a criminal, you subject him to such I mean, ill treatment. So, we don't expect his body chemistry to be the same. So, and it's very unfortunate because this is what we call executive recklessness that leads to this. And they use judiciary to perfect the illegality. Because had it been that the magistrate, having known that this is an act of intimidation, this is an act of lawlessness, you shouldn't have even, you should just release such a man on self-recognition. On self-recognition. We have seen where people committed very big crime in this country. They release them on self-recognition. Not talk about a very senior lawyer, a man of over 70 years. It's rather unfortunate. So he has he met up with the bail condition given to him by the court and the other protesters. So, and they perfected it. So it's for the judge to sign for order for release. That was around 11 yesterday, Friday, 24th. Waited for the judge from 11 in the morning till around 6 p.m. when we left from the court. The judge was nowhere to be found. People were, the registrar, everybody were waiting for him. So I don't know what they want to achieve. It's unfortunate. So I saw him there, just like I said. I saw Omo Elesho, I saw Prince Kanu, I saw Barasakindo Mokere, and some other protesters. So I believe. So by Monday, they will be out. Thank you. That is the update.
So, guys, you've heard what Maxwell Okpara has said, and also the interview of this barrister, that fearless barrister who said a lot of things. Now, let's look at what they said one by one. So, one of the points I want to say is that, and what Maxwell Okpara said by saying that Aloy Ejimakor collapsed in Kuje Prison after bail denial, guys. So he actually reassured people that he's going to be released tomorrow, being Monday. That's on the 27th of October, and that is when Nnamdi Kanu will also be live in court. In fact, in court, which is on the 27th, guys, Nnamdi Kanu is going to defend. Yeah. Nnamdi Kanu is going to open his defense tomorrow, being 27th of October, guys. So according to what he said, he actually collapsed in what's it called? He actually collapsed in Kuje Prison. That was what Sahara reporters actually told the public. So, Ejimakor, the special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, was arrested during a protest, among others. While in Kuje, he reportedly collapsed, unable to sit or stand upright because he was weak. He became very weak. He's been treated at the prison's medical clinic. He was rushed to their clinic, reportedly wearing a neck brace collar as part of treatment, guys. His lawyer claims the collapse happened about 24 hours after a magistrate allegedly refused to sign his bail bond. So Ejimakor himself posted that he is safe and sound but still under custody in Kuje. So, guys, this is what some news channel told us. So you guys know Ejimakor now, lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu. He has reportedly been collapsed inside Kuje Correctional Center. The incident has raised serious concerns about his health, the treatment of detainees, and the broader state of justice in Nigeria's legal system. So in today's episode, we'll explore exactly what happened, why it matters, and what this could mean for the ongoing struggle surrounding Nnamdi Kanu's case. To understand the gravity of this situation, let's rewind. So Aloy, isn't just any lawyer. He's one of the foremost, legal voices of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOP. Ejimakor has actually been one of the few consistently advocating for Kanu's fair trial and human rights, often standing against the state's use of security agencies and controversial detention measures. So on October 24th, 2025, Ejimakor joined a peaceful protest tag Free Nnamdi Kanu now in Abuja. That demonstration quickly drew police intervention. Reports from eyewitnesses and media outlets alleged that Ejimakor and several others were arrested and later remanded to Kuje Prison, a facility known for housing high-profile detainees, including Kano himself. So, according to multiple credible reports, including Sahara reporters, other also reports, grassroots reporters, Ejimakor collapsed inside Kuje prison roughly 24 hours after being remanded. Sources from inside the facility said he was unable to sit or stand upright and was immediately taken to the prison medical clinic where he was treated and fitted with a neck brace. Eyewitnesses described him as weak, pale, and struggling to maintain balance. The exact medical cause of the collapse remains unclear, though some said it may be have been triggered by exhaustion, stress, or health issues worsened by the tension condition. So human rights advocates have since expressed deep concerns about the treatment of Ejimaka and other detainees in Kuje. Legal colleagues has pointed to the alleged refusal of a magistrate to sign his bail bond as a potential factor that prolonged his stay in custody and worsened his condition. So the Nigerian Correctional Service has not yet issued a detailed public statement clarifying the situation of the incident. However, Ejimakor himself reportedly communicated through associates, assuring supporters that he's safe and sound but still under custody. Many are asking, how could a senior legal officer collapse in custody without immediate medical intervention or explanation? These questions has actually fueled a renewed debate, but about prison healthcare, judicial integrity, and the state of political detainee in Nigeria. This incident cannot be separated from the political context surrounding Mazin Kanu's prolonged detention. Ejimako has been a prominent critic of how the Nigerian government under both Buhari and Tinubu's administration has handled the IPOB situation, often labeling it a legal and moral injustice. Observers argue that this arrest and subsequent health crisis might send a chilling message to other activists and lawyers who dare to challenge the state. Supporters of Kanu see this as yet another attempt to silence voices that questions the fairness of the judicial process. Meanwhile, critics of IPOB claims that these events are being politicized, turning legal drama into emotional propaganda. Regardless of where one stands, the fact remains a top defense lawyer has collapsed under state custody, and the world is watching how Nigeria responds. So, guys, following the news, social media erupted with hashtag like free Ejimako, justice for Kanu. Activists are demanding his immediate release on health grounds, while civil rights organizations have called for a full investigation into the prisons handling the incident. Some legal analysts warn that if Ejimako's condition deteriorates, it could spark another wave of protests across the southeast and Abuja, potentially escalating already tense relations between pro-Biafra supporters and federal authority. The larger implication is this: when the defenders of justice themselves become victims of injustice, the very foundation of the legal system is called into question. So as for now, Aloy Ejimakor is reportedly inside Kuje Medical Clinic and still wearing a neck collar and under close observation. His situation symbolizes more than a medical emergency. It represents a deepening test of Nigerians' justice, its transparency, and its humanity. So, guys, what do you think about this? Is Aloy collapse a coincidence, or is it a consequence of deeper problem within Nigerian system of justice detention? Guys, let me know what you think about this. Drop a comment below. Subscribe for more updates on this story, and do not forget to hit that notification bell, because this case is far more guys, this case is far from over. So guys, Kanu will be live tomorrow. Guys, I can't wait for how, because tomorrow he will start his defense, and I'm hearing about 23 different witnesses, including Wike, Southeast governors. Some Southeast governors are among his witness, among his defense team. Let's see how it play out, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.